Hello.
Hi.
People in the comments. We have already got a person in the comments, so I'll just quickly say hello. Hi, Ange! I think you're the first person. Here we go. Sorry, I'm pressing my thing. Right. So, hello everybody. Welcome to this week's Plodalong. We've got welcome. I'll take Ange's comment away. I just realised I've just left her hanging on there. Welcome to my. First of all, I'll welcome my co-host down in the corner. We've got the lovely Jem, obviously Jem Bex, and then I've got a special banner for you guys. If I couldn't find you, where are you? I'm gonna miss all my banners. I messed my banners up. No, that's not it. Where are you?
Who's
next?
Yeah,
no, I don't know who's on. I can't find it. Here we go. Oh, this is going well. This is just going to be. There we go. I found it. Yay! Welcome to the lovely, wonderful to my side. We've got Jen from Jennifer Loves Books and lovely Eric from Eric. Oh, is Eric Cole Anderson?
Hey, hello.
I'm sure that you're familiar with both of these people by now because they are on my channel. Well, actually, Eric's not on my channel a lot, but you have been on my channel. So. Sorry, everyone knows who you are. Shut up. This is going to be brilliant today. Anyway, hello. How are you both? How is everybody?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
That's good. How are you, Jem, as well?
Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah, I'm fine. I always think I'm not the important one here. No one's here to hear about me. They're all here for Jen and Eric.
No, we'll say hello to some of the guests in the comments. Oh, lots and lots of comments. So go back over the comments. Here we go. And we've got. I need to make sure. There we go. We've got hello. I'm gonna whiz through them all because there's quite a lot of everybody. But hello.
There.
We've got our lovely Jane. Special hello to our lovely Jane. Love you, Jane. And then Camilla and Elizabeth and Katja. And obviously Jack and
Nicole.
Yay! And Nicole's going to be a guest in the future as well. I'm just very excited. Yes. So hello everybody in the comments. I hope that you're all well as well, everyone watching. So right, back to my lovely banners. Hopefully, okay. So first thing to say is to ask you guys, apart from how you all are, is what's been your overall thoughts on this year's long list or long lists? Because we've obviously got the non-fiction and fiction prizes.
Okay.
Yes, which is now lovely. Eric was prepared beside
I'm like a game showcase model. Like these are the books.
This is why you're here.
Always been my dream to be banner right.
I love that. Yeah. Eric, what's been your overall thoughts on the list?
Really exciting group of books. I've been really enjoying. There was lots of debuts. So yeah, quite a few authors that I was sort of expecting to see on there and that weren't. And I agree with a lot of other readers that are still mourning that Alif Shafak wasn't on the list. I think that's really sad just because I loved her new novel so much. And but it's also really exciting to have so many debuts on it because then lots of new authors to discover and with the nonfiction list, so many books that I've not heard of before. And so I've read 3 from the nonfiction list at the moment, and I've read 7 from the fiction list. And and I've really loved all of the nonfiction books that I've read. So overall, I think it's really great.
What has been your approach to the nonfiction list, Eric? Because I mean, I personally always think of you as quite a fiction-heavy reader. So how have you sort of approached the non-fiction, and what is your sort of feel on the non-fiction and how you'll tackle that going forwards?
I'm mostly quite random because, or at least like I started out thinking like, oh, I'm going to read these two first, and then that whole sort of reader's whim thing suddenly like, no, actually, I'm going to read this other one instead. I mean, I did read Jenny Fagan's book first, just because I've read her fiction before, and so was especially keen to read this, and so devastating and beautifully written and really powerful. And so I'm so glad that I was encouraged to finally read that. But then also I recently went on a holiday to Norway, so I thought, oh, this is the perfect time to read about Vikings. And so I brought the Viking book and enjoyed reading that Embers of the Hands. It added an extra pleasure of reading about this history while traveling around in the snowy north of Norway, and so that really added to the experience. But there's lots more that I want to read from that list, but it's just a question of time and having enough time to.
Everyone can still get to them over the next year, can't we? So it's not like anything with all of these books.
They don't need to be read in prize season, and that's all part of the joy of it as well. But I'm eager to hear what Jen thinks of it.
So I don't really read non-fiction, do I? So I don't really sort of have any thoughts on that, and I haven't read any of them. But in terms of the fiction list, I think overall it's a really interesting long list. I won't dwell on it, but I was disappointed Adichie was nominated. But apart from that, I think it's a really interesting list. I like that I'd only read one of them before, which was A Safekeep, which I read last year. There was a few books on there that were sort of already on my radar, but then there was a number of them that I hadn't heard of before, which I think is always, for me, the most exciting thing about the prizes is when there's books that I've not heard of before and I really want to read. So like the one that I'm really keen to read is The Dream Hotel. Yes. That just sounds really good. So far, I read The Safekeep last year, which I wasn't that keen on. I thought it was fine, but I don't really get the hype.
I really liked it. So it makes sense, Jen, that you.
And it also makes me laugh how everyone's saying how spicy it is, and I don't think it is at all. So
it didn't make you crave the pear?
So no. So I don't know what's wrong with people, but anyway. And then last weekend I have a few props here, but not as many as I read.
Amazing. It was still amazing. You're fine.
So I picked up some library books on Saturday, and I started The Artist on Saturday afternoon and finished it by Saturday evening. And then on Sunday, I read A Little Trickery. And I don't often read a book in a day unless it's like a really short book. So actually, I really enjoyed both of them. I thought they were great. So that's like a really good sign, the fact that I actually did that and just spent hours like reading both of them over the weekend. And the other one I really want to read is All Fours. That is waiting for me at the library. I feel like I might really like that.
I did it.
So Jen, are you saying that you've read 3 books from the long list and you haven't DNF'd any yet?
This is true. Well noticed.
Correct.
That is unheard of.
I know what is going on.
DNF queen.
I also have The Ministry of Time out of the library as well, which I haven't started yet, but just flicking through it, if there's going to be a DNF, I feel like that might be a DNF just by looking at the first few pages. But we'll see. I haven't really started it
only because only if I was placing bets for money. That's what I would say. Like, when I can do it.
Yeah.
So how exciting! That means you guys have had a great start to the list then, both of you. That's amazing. Both the lists, well, for you, both lists, and for Jen for the fiction. Yay! That's brilliant. I will quickly head over to our comments and see what the plotters are saying. Let us know how you guys are getting on with the books as well. Jack said just finished work. Oh, saying hello. Obviously, and we know Ange loved the Viking book. We got hello for Kate, and yes, because Jane read the Viking book as well. So yeah, brilliant. That is brilliant. So right, so the next bit is to ask you about, I'm going to find my banner for it, the careless question, which is a question of, is what is an underrated book by that you recommend by a woman? Because this is obviously our book our question that is dedicated to the book Careless, which was an underrated book that me, Jem, and Alice loved. So yeah, tell us. Ask Jen first this time.
Okay.
For your...
So I came prepared. So I wanted to recommend Paul by Daisy Lafarge, which I only read last month. And yeah, so I really, really enjoyed this. It was published a few years ago. And it's about
the surname, sorry, because I'm writing it down.
Lafarge, Lafarge. So it's about this graduate student called Frances who during the holidays goes to work and live on this like farm in rural France. So the idea is that she'll be able to stay there for free and she'll be fed and she'll like work on the farm. And so she meets Paul, who owns this farm. So she's like 21, he's in his 40s, and they sort of start up this relationship. And we see how that sort of develops through the book. There's a very clear imbalance of power within that relationship. And we see how he sort of starts to manipulate Frances. It's fairly slow paced, but there is plot that happens. But the reason I thought this might be interesting to recommend to the plodders is because the character of Paul is based on the artist Paul Gauguin. And I know there's that book on the non-fiction, isn't there? Is it called Wild Thing? About Paul Gauguin, which I think I've not heard any good reviews yet, I don't think, on that. But I just thought if people weren't interested in reading that, they can maybe read this instead. I did think it was really good. Maybe there are some like content warnings on this, so something to be aware of. But I thought it was a really good book. So,
yeah. Brilliant. Eric, what is your underrated book recommendation?
I picked Sophie and the Sibyl by Patricia Dunker. And this came out, oh gosh, how long ago? Like 5 or 6 years ago. And it's a kind of Victorian romance comedy of manners, and it is slightly written in that style, but it puts the author George Eliot as the central character and makes her part of this love triangle of where she gets emotionally and romantically involved with this younger couple. But then also there's this like meta element where Patricia Dunker, the author herself, like interjects into the story and is kind of commenting upon it and also expressing a kind of desire for George Eliot. So there's a kind of sapphic element in it as well. But it has this really curious effect where it almost feels like I'm reading this book alongside the author. Like it's almost like she's sat there beside me and we're both like reading this story together and commenting upon it. So it's really clever in this way and really fun and engaging, like kind of comedy of manners, but also has this really clever like metafictional element to it. And yeah, I just feel like now this is the only book I've read by Patricia Dunker, but she feels like a really underrated UK author that I feel like hasn't won too many prizes or been nominated all that much before. Though I was one of the judges on the Green Carnation Prize 5 or 6 years ago, and this was one of our finalists for that. So, but it's a book that I really loved, and that yeah, I'm not sure if she's written anything since then, but yeah, it's just really great, fun, creative novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Those are both
sounds really good. Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
No, I've not heard of the author either. I've seen the cover of Paul before. Though I've never had anyone talk about it, but I recognise the cover. But yeah, I've not heard of your one at all, Eric, ever. So that's a great pick for an underrated book.
Oh, good. Yay.
And I love that your one Jen ties into the non-fiction list as well. So both of you get bonus points for that.
Yay!
All right, I'll have a look at all of the comments. We've got the lovely Nicole said, I'm just about to start my 4th book off the list. Oh, let us know. Well, actually, we'll be talking to you, so I'm guessing you can tell us what you read when we talk to you. But yeah. Claire said, now read 4 as well, and halfway through my 5th. You're all doing amazing. Over the weekend, I read Amma and loved it, and fundamentally slightly disappointed. And then now on to Ministry of Time and liking it. Oh, that's brilliant. I think Jem there you go. Right.
It's always helpful to have your expectations lowered.
Yeah, indeed. Though you missed a comment from Jane as well, Charlie.
Oh, sorry.
Telling Jen not to DNF Ministry of Time. So Jane really liked it too. So.
I will try my best not to, Jane.
Jane says it. Jane is queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jane. Yeah, it's always worth, because like we're all such different readers, and just what doesn't work for one person might work for someone else. So yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Right, back to the banners, and the next one is a fun one. It's one of our fun things to do with it's crispy time. So I think you might have seen this, Eric, last week. I know Jen knows what we're talking about. So if you might, or maybe he doesn't know. Okay, right. So
Eric looks confused.
Okay.
Eric looks very confused.
This is obviously your 3rd year on the pods, Eric. So you kind of know every year we have like a food-related question. And so the first year was obviously pizza. The second year was ice cream. And this year it is crisps. So without further ado, I'll let Jem explain to you.
Okay, so what would you choose as a flavour of crisp that should exist but doesn't?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I entered the last plot while this was being answered, because I saw the whole vinegar debate, and I didn't know the origins of that debate, but now I understand it. Yeah, so.
That was the origins.
Did you want to start first, James, to give Eric a hot minute?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I don't know if this exists or if it has existed somewhere, but I would really like chip shop curry flavour crisps.
Oh,
so
nice.
Specifically chip shop curry flavour, not just any curry. Chip shop curry.
Chip shop curry sauce is the best.
Yeah, so that's what I'd have.
Oh, actually, I like that. That's a good shout.
Hey.
Celebrations! You've done one that
I thought kangaroo sounded nice too.
Not when you mix it with garlic.
Kangaroo and garlic flavoured crisps. I think that sounds delicious.
Just like a little bit. All of it was just too much for my brain. I don't know.
Oh,
anyway.
no.
Eric, have you got any ideas that you'd like to have as a potential food ideas? It can be anything.
Well, I mean, I think obviously to tickle Jen's taste buds, I'd have to say fig flavored crisp.
No!
But no. Although I'll probably my real answer will probably be even more controversial in that I'm a huge fan of licorice, so I'd love to have a licorice flavored crisp.
Ew. That sounds gross.
Actually, would probably be quite disgusting, but
that's horrid.
No, honestly, it's whatever works for you, Eric. And also because your answers always make Jem pull the worst faces, like the funniest faces. So
Oh. Do you think there would be black crisps as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think they would have to be, wouldn't they? Yeah.
There must already be black crisps. Like you have
very like gothic crisps.
Yeah.
Gothic crisps.
Did you know, Eric, I wanted to tell you something. I've got my DDC t-shirt on today. It's I don't know if you can see. It looks like a little mermaid, but actually, I'm gonna stand up so you can see. It's Davina de Campo.
Oh, hooray! Yay, Davina.
So I met her at DragCon, and I had to put it on for when I was on this
You
video.
DragCon. Oh. Yeah. I have to like stop myself from turning this whole conversation.
No. But I did put this on. So when you mentioned Gottmik, I had to then show you the tea.
Yeah.
That's what I done.
Very cool.
Yeah. Right. Let's see what everyone's horrified comments and has been saying. Ooh, here we go. I'm gonna be missing. Here we go. if I know I'm going to have missed some, so I'll try and click on one. I'll click on this and then I'll scroll up a bit because it's easier. So Anne said, I haven't read any fiction yet. On to my second non-fiction and currently listening to Agent Zoe, which is amazing. And Green Bitterleaf Bitterfly says, I haven't started it yet, just waiting for my copy of Somewhere Else to arrive. Ooh.
So I'm reading that one at the moment.
Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so far into it. I had a few other things that I had to finish off. Because you know, when you get to the point where you feel like you have 7 million books that you're in the middle of and you're not making any progress on anything. So I was like, no, I'm going to finish some books and then I can actually focus on the Women's Prize. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. If you like historical fiction, then I think you'll like it. Have you read that one yet, Eric?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm. And that's the one that I think hadn't heard of at all when when I saw the long list. So very curious about it, and never heard of that author before. Had you heard of the author before?
No, not at all.
I think she's written some non-fiction as well, hasn't she?
She's what?
Written some non-fiction as well, I think, and some other bits.
Yeah, but under I think she used a different surname. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when I went and looked on Goodreads to like add it to my currently reading, I think it only had like 50 ratings or something on it. So hopefully this will give it a nice little boost.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will explain why no one's heard of it, right? Because it just has been completely under the radar. 'Cause I think it was released in like autumn last year, right?
I think so. That's what we love so much about this, like the prize, because it like you find all these amazing books that you never would even dream
for
of.
sure.
And we've got, as obviously Jane said, she loved it too. I think she's talking about the Vikings, possibly. No, I don't know. No, I'm being stupid. And we've got Brian. Hello,
Brian.
And Jane. Great taste, Jan.
Thanks, Jane.
I think there might be a McCoy's Chip Shop curry crisp. There you go, guys.
I'll be looking that up. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why we love the plotters. They know what the stuff to bring. So yeah, can't beat Chip Shop curry. M&S used to do a katsu curry crisps. There you go.
Oh, Alice used to love a katsu curry. I know every time we went to Wagamama's, she'd get katsu curry.
I love katsu curry too, so I should try that crisp. Although M&S really should do a licorice flavored crisp.
No one would buy them, Eric. You would be the only one.
Yeah.
They'll make specially branded crisps now just for Eric.
Look, I wonder the percentage of the population that actually likes licorice must be quite small because it's quite an acquired taste.
My mum loves it. My mum properly diehard loves licorice. She would eat anything licorice.
My dad does. Maybe there's like one person in every family.
It's not like it's a bad thing. Like it's like
black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Licorice.
No, it is very divisive because my husband hates it. So yeah.
Oh.
See?
I have to go in the corner and eat licorice all on my own.
Oh, no.
I think it's so that when you get like a pack of like the Bassets, like all sorts, that there's one person that will eat the licorice. Everyone else can eat the nice ones.
Okay. And then we've got there we go. Oh sorry. And does Greg's do a katsu curry pasty. Okay.
Oh.
And Green Butterfly said, glad to hear Gemma's enjoying Somewhere Else. I wanted to read that first and thought it would be quite a challenging read.
Yeah, I think it's going to get quite intense. I'm just through World War One.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine. And Nigella Lawson is wild for licorice. So I'm in good company then with and Claire says licorice only works with sherbet dip dub things. Nice.
I remember those.
Yeah, they were good actually.
Childhood flashback.
Yeah.
So right now, this is the point where we're going to play our next game. So I'll get my next banner up. Okay, it's the game. It's the game. Sorry, we're going to get the banner. So this, I don't know. You think you may? I'm going to introduce it. We're going to play our higher or lower game. Yeah, so here we go. I'll add to the stage, and I'm going to take the higher or lower banner away because otherwise, in a second. otherwise it'll block with someone. There we go. There we go. So right, hello. Right. So for those of you that don't know, it's just a simple. What we have done is we've got this year's game is we've got some books, 6 books, up to 6 books selected from the Women's Prize history back, like the back history. We've randomly selected, and yeah, and then you've just got to simply guess what the rating from the ratings we give you, whether it's a higher or lower rate, Goodreads rate, like Storygraph rating. I'll show you anyway. So the first book we are starting with. Oh, I should find out who's going to go first. Actually, I'm so sorry. Which of you two wants to go first?
I don't mind.
Don't mind.
Sorry.
Either.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, you two are really unhelpful.
I've never heard of this book, which is why I'm holding back.
Okay. Jen, you can pick. I'll let Jen pick. Eric or Jen.
Me?
Obviously, I know which list first or second. You don't know which list. Which list?
I don't know. Look, we'll do Jen first because she's higher up.
Okay then. Okay then.
Great logic.
That's fine. So the first book is The Road to Wanting, obviously by Wendy Lawyon, I think that's the own. And this was listed in 2011. So and the first, obviously, the rating for it is 3.49. So all you've got to do is guess whether the next book, which obviously I'll show you in a second what the book is before you have to make a guess, is higher or lower. So the book is The Flame Throwers by Rachel Kushner. So
I'm going to say higher.
You think the next book is higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a fix, Charlie.
I'm so sorry.
Difference. You messed up.
I'm so sorry. And Jen is the most, for those of you watching, I'm sure I don't know if you know, Jen is the most competitive person. She was ready to take.
So salty about this.
She was ready to take Eric down. Like, I'm sure she would have researched every single book on the list.
I actually haven't revised for this because I thought there's no point because it's too difficult. But I think have I done the worst out of everyone so far? I think I have.
Yes.
I'm like,
don't worry. It's fine.
Oh, bottom of the table.
We'll carry on. So we'll even though you haven't got the points, we'll carry on as if you had, so you can see how you would have done it.
And then I'll get them all wrong because you're just rubbing it in now.
I've done these slides. I want to see, we'll get to the end. Okay. So the next book would have been Stone Blind. So what would you have said?
Got to be higher.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
3.85. Still right. That would have been higher. So then the next book after that is the Ali Smith's Hotel. Well, this by the way, this list was the Eric list. I want to tell you.
Yeah, it's definitely not on me list.
Can't tell. So
Ali Smith.
So do you reckon higher or lower than 3.85?
I'm going to say lower.
And you would have been right. It's just that first book that threw you off. To be fair, they were so closely rated.
That is harsh.
It's really. I'm sorry. It was at random. And then we've got The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. So if you think that's higher or lower?
I'm going to say higher.
That's right.
Yay!
Yay! And then lastly, we've got an Anne Tyler book. We've got The Ladder of Years.
That's one of my favorite books of all time.
I really like that. I've read that as well. I really like that.
There you go.
So, I mean, on that basis, I'm going to say higher.
Oh,
good book then.
3.62.
Obviously, this is all subjective. The fact that you both love this book, it shows that everyone should still read it. So, that was the last one on this list. So you don't get any points, but you still get all the love. I'll still give you some hearts.
Thanks, Charlie. That makes me feel better.
You get all the hearts from Charlie. So, you don't get the celebration fireworks, but I'll give you hearts. So
thanks.
I'll do that.
Yeah, you can do hearts. Do you have an apple thing? You just need to make it into hearts. Yeah.
Can I make it? That's exciting.
You can also do fireworks, Eric, but I'll teach you that in a second. We'll see how you get on first. Right. So the next, so for your books, Eric, this is obviously now it's. I mean, you've got everything to play for. I mean, hopefully, the only way,
you could win it, Eric. You could be a winner this year.
Yay! You're giving Eric a chance.
For the first time.
So the first book we've got listed is Love Marriage by the winner of last year's prize, which is Vivi Ganov-Chanathan. So this was obviously listed in 2009. So the ratings for this is 3.42, and the book it's against is, the writing's really small, but I'll read it out loud. It's The White Family by Maggie Gee, which was in 2002. So do you think that is higher or lower?
That is hard.
I'm sorry, it's all random. It will get easier from, well, in theory.
I will say lower.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Your chance.
I feel like I should have done. I haven't done a tiebreaker. Last week I did a tiebreaker. I haven't done a tiebreaker. We'll carry on like we did before. So
that didn't happen.
Okay. I mean, okay. So the next book is Love, Like, Hate and Adore by Deirdre Purcell.
Wow, never heard of that.
So do you think it is higher than 3.52 or lower?
Lower?
You sound so confident. Wow, 4.3. That's a high.
So I don't think it's got a lot of ratings, to be clear. I don't think it's actually been rated that many times. It's but still, obviously, clearly the people that have read it have enjoyed it. So the following book is, this is, again, you can see whose list this was. It completely came up as random as well. For both lists were completely random, but obviously I
love Sarah Waters too.
Yeah, you do like Sarah Waters, I know you do. But Sarah Waters is Jen's favourite author.
My fave, yeah.
So is it higher or lower than 4.33?
I'll say higher because she's so popular and deservedly so.
Oh, that's a low score.
That is low.
It is from Storygraph. I don't know. It might be different on Goodreads. I've just taken. It's from there.
Well, there's clearly a lot of rubbish reading taste on story.
There you go.
Reading incorrectly.
Could you hear that, everybody? Yeah, however, it was rubbish. So the next book is, if I can click on it properly, is one you've read this one, haven't you, Eric?
Yes, yeah.
Sing Unburied Sing by Jasmine Ward. Do you think it's higher or lower than 3.56?
Higher.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! You've got one.
I'll do a celebration. Sorry. Right, the last. Oh, you've got love hearts this way. The last book is Rachel Cusk one. It's Arlington Park. Sorry,
Lower.
It's Arlington Park by Rachel Cusk.
Lower.
Ready? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, that's a low score.
Maybe they do know what they're talking about.
Just for that one.
Oh, salty Eric, I like it.
Not the biggest Rachel Cusk fan.
No, I've not tried her. I don't think she.
I'll just take this off. I'll let you guys carry on talking for just 2 seconds. I just need to mute myself for just 2 seconds.
No worries. Oh dear. So Eric, you said you've read 7 from the long list so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'd already read 5 before the list was announced, so I had a sort of running start. So.
Yeah. So which is your favourite of the ones that you've read?
Ooh. It's an interesting question. Because it's the difficulty with like judging too is like, you know, I appreciate different things about the different books, although probably I would say overall out of the ones I've read, Nesting is probably my favorite so far. Just like broke my heart, so beautiful, and you know, just so like powerful how it like centers you in her experience so strongly. And I continuously got so frustrated with those children. I was like, just like leave her alone, children. She's like going through a lot. And but then I understand they're children. They're just being children. They can't help it. But it's like it made it so heartbreaking. Yeah, but really beautiful. And yeah, so I'm so glad that the prize like encouraged me to finally read this one, because yeah, really powerful.
Yeah, I've had it on my shelf for ages because I got a proof of it at Women's Prize Live last year.
Oh, cool.
So, and I'm kicking myself for having not read it yet, but I will read it now. And it's interesting because Scott, who we had on Sunday, has also read several, and his favourite was also Nesting. So it seems to be pretty well beloved across the board.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the winner. Maybe.
Although I do have like big love and passion for a little trickery too. I just completely adored.
I'm reading that one at the moment. It's just like so great. The audiobook particularly is just,
yeah, the voice and character is so good.
Yeah, the main character in A Little Trickery is so like vividly portrayed, isn't she? And so memorable. Yeah, I'd be surprised if A Little Trickery doesn't make the shortlist. I think it has a chance of winning because I do think it's really strong.
Is it the favourite of the three that you've read, Jen?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Everyone in the comments, let us know what your guys' favourites that you've read so far. If you would like, let us know that. I'll quickly pop to the comments. Where are we? I know I'm gonna have to scroll up a bit, so this is gonna be difficult. Sorry, I just Charlie keeps saying it's random, but are you sure about that, Charlie? It was random, and then I was like, oh, this is like an it was after I'd done the list. I looked at it, I was like, this is an Eric list, and this is a Jen list. So I was like, yeah, so it is random. I promise you, I did it completely. I generated it with a random number generator from 1 to 30, and then from 1 to 16. FYI. Yeah. I'm not protesting too much. We've got Salt for Jen, I'm guessing, and also the crest. We've got Shelley.
Hi, Shelley.
My favourite too, Ladder of Years.
Oh,
I love that.
I now have like massive FOMO for Ladder of Years. Like,
you ought to be writing that one down.
I feel like everyone's read it. I'm gonna have to like add
I'll
it.
write that on the thing as well.
I mean, it's about a woman basically who walks out on her life to find an apartment just to sort of sit and read all the time. And
any of us.
Yeah.
The dream.
And there's this great story that Anne Tyler told about her inspiration for writing that book, because Anne Tyler went on the beach once and she was wearing a t-shirt that said 100 Years of Solitude after the Marquez novel. And a woman came up to her and said, oh, I'd really love that. And Tyler responded, oh, do you mean the Marquez novel? And the woman's like, no, I'd love 100 years on my own. And then she watched this woman go back to like her many children having chaos on the beach. And it's like, okay, yeah. So she wanted to like fictionally give that to.
That's so cool. I love that. Really cool. What a brilliant concept.
It's a lovely story, so. Anne said Nesting will be the first from the fiction list. I read Hearing Such Good Things and Have a Little Trickery on audio. Yeah, because I was telling the girls all about it at the weekend how much I was loving the audiobook, obviously. Ellen's also read Nesting and now reading Crooked Seas. Let us know how you're getting on with that. Nesting is brilliant. I love Fundamentally equally, but for different reasons. I love hearing all this. I've had like good things about the audiobook for Fundamentally as well. So if any of you guys in the comments have read the audiobook, let us know about that as well. I'd better take it back the compliment if it's random. Oh, I didn't even see the compliment. I'm sorry, Catcher, if I've missed anything. Oh, there you go. I enjoyed it. I got the previous one and enjoyed that. Got 4 on the previous one and 4 on the Sarah Alter. Oh, you guys are playing along with us. Well done.
Good work, Katya.
Well done. And Jane says you won't like it.
Excellent. I won't bother then, Jane.
Brian says, just finished all 4s and tell me everything. Tell us what you thought of them.
Oh, tell us, because I think I'll detest both of those. And if Brian really liked them, I probably am correct.
It's a surefire way. Right.
Yeah.
Right. The next banner, if I can try and find the banner, I know it's not the higher or lower. The next thing is the guest questions. So from the every single week, every single time we've got guests on, we've asked them to give the following week's guests a question. So yeah, it wasn't last week. Yeah, it was at the weekend. We had Scott and obviously Alex on, and they came up with some questions for you guys. So the questions are, we've got where are they? I've got them here in front of me. So Alex said, we'll do Alex's question first for both of you. Which book award would you exterminate? And so I think should we do that question? Yeah. And I think they were concerned for you, Eric, that you might find this really troubling. You need a lot of book awards.
Very strong word, exterminate.
Yeah. That was the Alex question. Disco King. So I think because you may have been prepared, Jen, can I ask you first?
Yeah, I'll go first. That's fine.
I've got a minute to think about it.
So I was thinking that this is a really difficult question, because like, how do you get rid of a book prize? And do you just pick a genre that you're not interested in and go with that one? But then that feels mean. And then it occurred to me that there is an obvious answer, and I think there's only one right answer, and that is I'd get rid of the Goodreads Choice Awards. Because that's just boring. It's just a popularity contest on which books have been read the most. So I would happily get rid of that one, I think.
I think that's a good answer.
That's my answer.
Okay, Eric, I'm going to pick on you now.
Yeah, this is really difficult because, and like, exterminate is like, it just makes me think of, is that Doctor Who? There's like
Daleks.
the villains.
Yeah.
Daleks exterminate.
Daleks, yeah. Yeah, really shamefully, I've never like fully watched an episode of Doctor Who.
I thought I liked you. The only time you get a salty Charlie face is if you insult Doctor Who or anything bad about Doctor Who.
I'm sorry. Just every time I try to watch it, I'm so confused. I don't know what. And there's like, these villains that are like tin cans placed on top of each other with eyes that are like shooting people, and I'm like, what's?
You get a rain cloud for that.
Oh no, rain cloud. So yeah, exterminate. So if I was a Dalek, I would exterminate. I mean, well, yeah. There's not really. I mean, I'm obviously of the opinion that like the more book prizes, the better. But it would probably be the Giller Prize because of their recent actions. And so there's been some controversy around the prize for a while because of sponsorship of the prize and people questioning that. And obviously with any prizes or charities who sponsors them, they need to like think about how that impacts upon like the values of the prize. But what really would make me pick them is because a former winner of the Giller Prize, Madeleine Thien, she was trying to work with the prize to seek alternative sponsorship for them, and the director of the prize seemed to be working with her, but then like turned against her and like started sending her really actively like nasty messages, and Madeleine Thien posted a whole thing about how horrible and nasty they've been to her. And so like, as that's feels no way to treat your former winners of your own prize. And so love Canada, love there's other Canadian book prizes,
Carol Shields,
Carol Shields Prize, and and others. And so but yeah, I think the Giller Prize has a lot of issues at the moment.
Good show.
It'll work out. So Jem, do you have an answer for this, or do you want to care to have an answer to this?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh well, after last year, the Booker Prize.
Maybe no, because this year we've got SJP. So like, hello.
Do you think this year's judges could come with a top-notch long list?
You're going to be there, Eric. We're so jealous.
Well, I don't know. The Booker Prize has gone very quiet and like in like communication with me. So yeah.
What did you do, Eric?
We want the
I don't know.
SJP selfie.
Yeah.
We
Sorry?
want the SJP selfie.
I know. I would love that. So yeah, I really hope I get invited, but I don't know. We'll see.
Quick, send them a message, Eric. Be
We'll
like,
send them
sorry,
a message.
do you know who I am?
Everyone on BookTube will send the booker a message to me because we all want it to happen.
Yeah, let's start a petition.
Yeah, but yeah, with the international list, this is like the first time in many years that they've not like sent me the list of books or communicated with me at all. Like I have sent them messages and they've not responded. So yeah, I don't know if I've been blacklisted for some reason.
No, you're amazing. No one would ever
I don't
blacklist
think
you.
it's actually like possible to blacklist you, Eric. It would be like kicking a puppy. Like,
yeah, the whole BookTube would literally riot. Like I swear, like you're like.
That's very strange. Have they changed like their marketing team, or maybe I don't know? Maybe there's
or maybe they're having issues with their funding, or or I don't know. Yeah,
there's no excuse to do that to you, Eric. It's not. Anyway, we'll move on to Scott's question because otherwise we'll run out of time. And the question Scott asked if you could take a character from one book and put them into another book. So, who'd you pick? And tell Scott why.
That's a tricky question.
Character from one book and put them into another book and tell me why. And I know Jen would have prepared her answer because she's already she had this last week. So I'll give Eric another hot second to think about it. Jen, I'm picking on you first.
Thanks. I have prepared my answer.
Yes, I know you had.
So this is a bit random, but so one of my favourite characters is Anne from Anne of Green Gables. So I would put Anne in The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Because I just think that would be a laugh. And I think, would she have a positive influence on that group? Or would she succumb to their devious ways? Who knows? I'd like to find out.
I've never read Secret History.
Might be murdered, mightn't she?
Well, yeah, that's a chance you got to take, Eric.
That rabble.
Oh.
You're evil, Jen. It's dark times. Well, hopefully, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking hopefully she'll have a positive effect on them.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it will be entertaining either way, I
think. So Eric, what can you think of anything off the top of your head? Any JCO characters? That's what I was thinking last week when Scott said it. I was like, "There's got to be a JCO character that's."
Oh, there's lots, but I was going to keep it related to this year's list, and also be able to provoke Jem to make another face, because I would say Olive Kitteridge. And I would take Olive Kitteridge and put her in No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood, because Olive Kitteridge would have no time or patience for the online social media twitterings and memes of someone that like spends all their time online. And I would really enjoy reading Olive putting that narrator in her place.
Bold moves from both fronts.
Bold strikes. Though I do strongly believe that Olive deserves to be nowhere but the bin. So
No.
Oh, Eric,
no. Both thumbs are clear, and then and that's how you make it rain, Eric. You lift your thumbs up and make sure they're straight.
Oh God!
I'm trying to help you too.
It's not working. How dare you speak about Elizabeth Strout that way, a Maine icon. So
Charlie always feels the same with that as well.
You're definitely gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just so happy that there's an author that's kind of known for writing about Maine other than Stephen King, because formerly it's just been like Stephen King territory, but now Elizabeth Strout is putting her own stamp on the state of Maine. So that fills me with pride as a.
If it makes you feel better, I also detest Stephen King, so maybe I've just got off thing against Maine.
So it's just all Mainers you hate.
No, don't say that. We it was you.
Mainers like to refer to themselves as maniacs.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh dear.
Right, that's fine. So what would your guys' questions be for the following weeks? So for the following guests that we've got. So I'll ask again, I'll start with you. Actually, have you got a question that you can think of, Eric?
I do, yeah. I've prepared one for this, and because I think especially because I when traveling in Norway recently and read some Norwegian fiction as well as the Viking book while I was there. So I'd ask, is there a book that you'll forever associate with a certain location because you read it at a particular place at a particular time? And yeah, it's just something I'm always curious about, and something I love about reading, that, you know, sometimes we'll be reading a book, you know, at some particular place, and then it'll just always be associated in our heads with like that moment in time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love that question. That's a lovely question.
Good. I like that.
So, Jen, what is your question for the next guests?
So, as you know, I love DNFing.
Yes.
So my question is, what is a book that you wish you had DNF'd?
Ah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so we can get some salty opinions for Jen there.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many.
So before I come and see everyone, you guys can answer the questions that Scott and Alex answered in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your thoughts on both Eric's and Jen's answers as well. But before I see those, I'm going to say about next week's guests. So not next week, it's Sunday. Anyway, this week's guests. On Sunday, we are being joined by the wonderful Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot and Brian from Bookish at 2 p.m. GMT. So join us Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT over on Gem's channel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just see your guys' comments and see what you guys have been saying. So,
and I did schedule that live for Sunday about 2 minutes before we went live, so you can get a little notification on for Sunday if you want. You don't have to.
I'm just going to have a little scrolly up. Here we go. Yes, there we go. I think we've only missed a couple of notes. Fine. So said that was my first thought of the Goodreads choice. So yeah, Goodreads choice words. Yeah, I agree as well. We've got Sarah. Hi, Sarah. You're always welcome whenever you show up. We love seeing you here. Always welcome. Kat just said, fab answer, Jen. I didn't pay attention to the Goodreads Choice Awards and forgot they existed for a second. Oh, salty. I could only think of the Hugo Awards for fantasy, or for 2023 China controversy. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so they excluded certain authors if they were not politically aligned with China, I think.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. And said, I need to write a strong letter to Booker, as that's English do. I loved the Booker last year and loved the International Booker Longlist this year. Yeah. Us not yet.
Yeah, the International Booker Longlist is top tier.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed what I've read from it so far.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people excited about that. And Patricia Lockwood would
No, I don't think so. I think Olive Kitteridge could hold their own.
That would be crazy. To my mind, that would just be so
from anybody.
That would be mad to see. Yeah. And yeah, that's Brian, obviously. So yes. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you guys for coming today. Thank you everyone in the comments for joining us today. You guys have all been brilliant as always, and big hearts. I'll give you big hearts for everybody, and also fireworks for everybody. Do you do fireworks? Yeah, you can do. So get your thumbs, make sure they're out. So they're like. This
is YouTube gold. Actual YouTube gold.
So, yeah, make sure they're central to your screen. And then go out, and then
It doesn't look my thumbs.
You're okay. You get.
It doesn't like your thumbs at all.
Just need a little bit of practice, Eric. Next time we get you back, we'll have you.
Oh,
yeah, you
I just have to hold it really close.
yeah. That's what it is. It's just because it doesn't know, so it doesn't register. Well done. So thank you everyone for coming. Make sure you come along on Sunday over on Gem's channel at 2 p.m. Like we said, Gem said she's already set the live show, so you can get yourself your reminder set. Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time. So thank you, and thank you to our wonderful guests, Jen from Jennifer Loves Books, and Eric Carl Anderson, and thank you to my amazing co-host as well, Gem from Gem of Books. So thank you. See you next time. Wave goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.